Alright, welcome back to my channel, Point Leader 75 here. We are gonna continue with part 2 of Let's Play SpinTires. Although I did restart the game because, first of all, the first video became much longer than I intended to. And I did pretty much everything wrong there, and I didn't scout the terrain ahead of me prior to the transport of the logs. And second, I did some adjustment allowing the sound of my voice to be a little bit more clear, so that it'll be easier to hear what I say, and hopefully things go well. So what I've done, except for with the exception of the first part, is that I changed to hardcore mode instead of casual mode, so that gives me less of convenience options. Although I did not uncloak the entire map this time, I've done that already before, so this time I just left off pretty much in the same position as we did with the last video. So this is a long trailer, and we're gonna head on for the objective. So there's gonna be a second run, and that's where I'm gonna show the better route instead of taking the way I took in the first video. Alright, so like always, whatever happens happens. So what's the main difference? Well, in regards of hardcore mode, well, first of all, you don't have the option to plot out your route the way I did in the first video. So even if I click my way on the map itself, it won't show that red line to show you the hint where you need to go. Second, I can't teleport myself back to the garage if something happens, so I'm much more dependent on good planning, basically. I don't want to end up in trouble, or I play some trucks, some other trucks that I found or unlocked in the process, allowing me to refuel and so on. So I actually placed a parked truck, a fuel truck, on top of the hill we're heading now, should we encounter any problems. And then I left the first truck at the garage that we just left, which allows me to be a little bit more flexible, whatever problems there will be. So this should be pretty head-on. Again, as you can see, I'm just using the differential, not the all-wheel drive, because although it's moving slower, but I save up some fuel, and that's, by the way, is also a different aspect in terms of running it in hardcore. You do consume a lot more fuel, so you want to be careful how you operate your truck. So we are approaching the first bend here, and as you all know from the previous video and probably by first-hand experience, the turning radius is pretty bad with this truck. So I'm going to be using the winch in order to slingshot myself around the corner. And I'm going to see if I can give you a good example of that. So first of all, I line up a little bit, making sure that I have everything in order, and putting in the reversing. Oh yeah, also to mention that the gearbox is in manual mode. That's the only way I'm being allowed to operate the diff lock. Because otherwise, if you compare to the casual mode, you're running it in automatic mode. So in this case, if I run it in automatic, I won't be able to change the modes. So what I'm gonna do here is using the winch from the front end of my truck and winch it to the inside of corner, and I'm gonna be as gentle as possible. I'm not gonna be able to skip the inside of the corner with the trailer because it's pretty long, but I'm gonna winch like so, where I get the perfect radius, and then I just gently use the throttle so that I get to turn around. And what's holding me back now, as you can see, my front wheels are lifting. That way I won't be able to steer my way around. I'm going to try to release the winch, see if that helps. And obviously it did not. So we're going to see if we can get the wheels down to the ground, allowing us to steer that final bit. Come on. It's a heavy load. I want to be really careful here because, like I said, this is a fairly long trailer. The gearbox is a little bit clunky, but alright. I'm gonna use the second tree there, helping me to turn around. Should I be able to reach it? It seems I'm not close enough. This is so abusive for the trailer, but I don't have much choice. I need to be pretty brutal with the truck. Maybe if I pull it up here, I'll be able to grab a hold on the tree there. There you go. Yeah, you don't want to be in the advanced mode because you always automatically end up with the parking brake on, making it much easier to flip if you try to do any motion forward or backwards. Yeah, we're gonna make it, although I'm not sure about my trailer, how well it's. It's a really bad clipping, but I have no choice. I'm gonna have to keep it to the left, so I don't want to clip it. Yep, we are around the first corner. Putting the headlights on. Again, the headlights, they are good if you're heading in one direction, but if you want to be able to look around, it's actually better if you turn it off because you will be able to see much more in your peripheral view. And time for the second turn out of 3 or 4, I think. I think there are 3 turns, yep. I'm just gonna see if I can roll the truck backwards. Again, there's a little, very small tree there to my left, and although I should be able to make it turn here, I'm gonna try to properly line it up a little bit better, making it less dramatic. So something like this. Parking brake on, just in case, and see if I can winch myself around this corner. Parking brake off, and work our way. This is gonna be really bad for the trailer, so I'm gonna have no choice here. I really need to clip the tree on the inside, but that's just pretty much how far you can turn, because you see there it's gonna lean really bad to the left, the trailer that is. So we want to be really careful here and become pretty brutal with the trailer. Making sure everything is in place. Sometimes when you're a little too brutal, the back end of the log attachment. You're gonna jump off the trailer. So what's gonna be holding it in place would be the front attachment. So you can have a trailer with a log, set of logs, dragging itself on the ground either on the left or right side. And then again, if you drop your logs, with this one you're gonna have two very long logs on the road next to your truck, wherever they're gonna end up. With the medium logs, there's gonna be 3 logs, and I assume that with the small logs, there's gonna be a set of 4 logs. And that's because instead of having to pick up all these 25 logs or whatever I have here, I only need to pick up the amount of logs. In this case, these long logs would be 2 logs, and I just need to place them on the trailer again and reassemble. So let's see, I don't know if I have any tree here, so I'm gonna be pretty brutal. I'm trying to force my trailer around the corner here. Backing up a little bit. There we go, come on. I might be able to pull off with a winch here. I'm not so sure if there is any attachment point here. Yeah, there would be the tree there. So maybe if I put this angle on, I should be able to find something to attach it to. Nope. Oh. Make sure you have the brake on. Alright, we're gonna have to pull it to the tree on the left side. However, the issue here is that it's gonna lift the truck up and cause a tilt in a very bad manner. It's gonna lift the wheels up in the air, unless we're careful here. So we don't want to pull it too close, but at least we'll make it around the corner. And off we go. And that should be it. The first load. I'm just gonna take it. Yeah, it's struggling around the rock there. Yeah, it's really heavy. Right. Should you accidentally pack the cart now, really shouldn't matter too much, I think. The rigidity is still there, thanks to the logs, but I never had any problem by doing so accidentally. So really nothing should happen, but you never know, so don't try it out. It's not worth experimenting unless you have a truck nearby with a crane. Let's just put the headlights on and we are pretty much head on down the road. So I'm going to pick up a second load, and this is going to give us 6 points for the objective, I'm sorry. But we need 8 points, so regardless we're going to need to make a second run. But yeah, even though I'm going to take a second load or setup, I'm actually thinking if I take small logs, that should do. We're going to miss 2 points, so maybe that'll simplify it a little bit so that you get to see the route. Hopefully with this video, try not to make too many parts of this map. You've seen a lot of it already by now. Alright, so here's a truck that I parked, a fuel truck. I'm gonna refuel there on my way back. It should be pretty well calculated. We are almost down to half the tank. And now we should be able to put in the high gear. Yeah, what else is happening? In regards to my YouTube channel, Pony75, I'm gonna do a unboxing video. This is being recorded on a Monday, 10th of August, and 2 days from now, on Wednesday, sometime late on Wednesday, I'm gonna get my Oculus Rift DK2. And I'm gonna do an unboxing video, so stay tuned for that. And that's pretty much what's gonna be of bigger significant this week. We have arrived to the objective, so I'm just gonna pull in here and make sure the line is red, and that should be it. Putting neutral in and unload. There we go. And now we can pack the cart and make the run a second time, and that should be it. Although I'm gonna change the attachment of my truck and put some small logs on there instead. It should be easier to get around corners and much more fuel efficient as well. So yeah, like I said in the first video, I really didn't plan too much in regards of knowing my way around. By now I do know my way around on this map pretty well. I don't need to really uncloak too much. Although if you haven't unlocked it, I suggest you do so, of course. But I've unlocked it like 3 or 4 times by now. So I pretty much know my way around here regardless. So yeah, on these kind of roads, you really don't need diff locks on the tarmac or the better roads. You don't need all-wheel drive, and you sort of feel your way because, I mean, if you struggle uphill, yeah, maybe you want to put them on, but otherwise it's going to damage the structure of your truck, because you're forcing your truck to have all the wheels rotating at the same speed regardless you're turning or not, and that's gonna hurt your truck really bad. So plus it's much more fuel consuming, so you want to try to avoid that. So what you do here, you, if you don't know already, but you just click on your cistern, and then you fuel up, and that's it. And we are ready. Oh, wrong key. There we go. Like I said, what happens happens. And yeah, second of all, you want to make sure that unless you're in a smaller transport like the UAC, and even so, I would suggest you not to take any D route, for example, out in the terrain, unless you really have to, because in most cases it's actually better to take the longer route, because you actually get to your objective wherever it might be, instead of having to fight the terrain that could extend to well over 1 or 2 hours easily, and you would have instead had maybe 3 or 4 runs between the objective and the lumber, for example, at that same time. So try to make sure that you have enough fuel instead by either placing a fuel truck like I did there, before you go, and make sure you know your way around, and go from there. It's better to be safe and make sure you arrive to your destination rather than taking a stupid risk heading out in the terrain, especially with a big truck as well, because it's not going to be so much full of mud, but it's going to be very narrow in terms of trees and stuff like bigger rocks or very missable loose terrain. And even though you have the winch, but I would say that in some cases, in some areas, on some other maps, you won't have a fixed point to attach the winch to, not within reach, and that's going to cause a problem, especially in hardcore, because you won't be able to teleport your way back to the garage should something go wrong. So what you will have to do by then is to take another truck and hope that that truck won't get stuck in the process, saving the other one, or the first truck, so to say. And I've had many of those situations where I go and explore with a small UAC and I get stuck, and it happens. I mean, it's a small vehicle for this kind of terrain, so although it is capable of getting around pretty well, but if you don't read the terrain ahead of you, you easily get stuck with that smaller vehicle. So I've had situations where I go with a second truck, maybe something like this, or the Euro truck, and I get stuck with that one too in the process of rescuing the smaller UAC. Well, then I have 2 vehicles that needs to rescue. So, and so it goes on, and eventually I have pretty much all the lineup in need of rescue. So, the amount of effort and time it takes to save one vehicle, just because you wanted to take that little smaller shortcut, it's not gonna be worth it, even though you might pull it off once or twice, but eventually you're gonna end up in some sort of issue. You might have run the distance or the route a number of times, maybe a couple of 100 times before, nothing gone wrong. But when it does, it's so time consuming, and it brings, or pretty much adds up to a lot of more risks. And in the longer term, in the longer run, it's not really worth it. So stick to what you know works, even though it's a longer route, and you should be okay. Alright, we are almost back at the second garage. This is actually the second garage that I had to unlock at the very first, but this is a middle stop depot, or fuel station in this case. So yeah, you really want to have this one unlocked. But you just follow this route or route. I'm sorry, I'm saying route. I don't know what you guys say, but well, I do live in Sweden, and here we do say router for router and so on, and it's a kind of a linguist habit, I suppose. Alright, we're back at the garage, and there's a Euro truck that I mentioned before. We really shouldn't need that one anymore, but you never know, so I have it parked here. Alright, so for the short logs, I need to remove these and have a carriage. There you go. That's all I need. And let's just finish this mission, although not completely unlocked for this run. First, this is just for a show purpose, so I've done this already. And I should know my way now. And it's not going to be that tricky, little complicated route. So you're going to have to bear with me, guys, because I am a Swedish guy. I do tend to mumble a little bit. I am doing live commentary while playing the game, so it's a little much more trickier, because not only do you have to think what you want to say, and you want to make sure that you do the gaming properly. I'm going to put all-wheel drive on. But once I'm loose of the, or away from the uphill or any more tricky mud, I disconnect the all-wheel drive, because if you look at the fuel consumption, it's 38 liters a minute, and that's pretty much yeah, that's a whole lot of a whole lot of big Coca-Cola bottles per minute that you consume. A Coca-Cola bottle is about, a smaller one is 1.5 liter. The bigger ones are 2 liters. But yeah, you get the idea how much fuel this baby's consuming. So if we can avoid it, just disengage the all-wheel drive. Yeah, this is a route that I didn't take in the first video because I wasn't sure. I didn't have. I never went this way in advance to scout out the location to make sure whether I could make the run over here. But this is actually both a shorter run and a much safer run. There's really not much that you can get stuck in. And the only issue here is that it makes it a little slower and might consume a little bit, but yeah, consume a little bit fuel, but other than that, you're gonna get to your destination. And so once I'm up over this little crest, I'm disengaging the default, the overdrive. And that should be okay. Just pumping the gas and throttle, allowing me to turn a little bit better without using the winch. I'm gonna have to put the all-wheel drive on just to have my front wheels pull my way in the right direction here. There we go. Mud is too deep, so I'm gonna have to use the all-wheel drive, so it seems. But then again, fuel consumption really isn't too much of an issue now that we have everything in order. And this baby isn't going to be as thirsty as a long trailer equipped version will be. So yeah, we're almost there. Down the hill and to the right. So yeah, what else? What else is have I got? Unless you notice, I do have a official Facebook channel where you can stay tuned in terms of news, what's coming up and stuff like that. And feel free to go there and give it a like as well. And then of course I have all the links on my channel at the very top in the banner. I also do have a link in there for the music that I compose and perform. It's been official on iTunes, cdbaby.com, and so on. You will be able to find my music pretty much wherever music is distributed in digital forms. And that's a good way to support me. I am being pretty small in terms of as a YouTuber and as well as a musician, but I'm trying to reach out, and any help and support would be appreciated, of course. So feel free to take a look at there. And you also have a link to my Twitter, and so it's all up there in the bottom right banner. Alright, let's just load up some short logs and have this mission finished or completed. And basically what I'm doing now is that I'm taking pretty much the same route that I took on the way here from the objective, and that allows me to refuel at the garage, the second garage, and then if I have to, I have the fuel truck up on the hill as well, so we should be okay. This is gonna be a pretty long video, but I suspect that yeah, we'll see. I might split it up later on, maybe. We'll see, but this is gonna be anyway the final part or the conclusion of this map, and basically SpinTires. And then we'll see if you want me to do more of this, maybe some other map, or show some other hints, tricks, and ways to get around. Please let me know in the comments below. I'm going to put in a link in the description as well to the Steam, or to this game here on Steam. So feel free to take a look. There are some bugs. I'm not really entirely sure what they are. I've been looking around on other YouTube channels trying to figure out what they really are, but in a nutshell, it is affecting multiplayer. So it's either throwing you out to the desktop, in Windows desktop, or it restarts or just shuts down Steam client in the middle of the game. And since you're not able to save in the multiplayer games, well, that's a bit annoying. If you should, let's say you played maybe 2-3 hours together with a buddy or a couple of buddies, and then all of a sudden someone have this issue with being thrown out of the desktop mode in Windows, or having Steam shut down, they won't be able to get in anyway. And so most of us in the community are hoping for a dedicated server, or at least some way of saving your progress, especially in multiplayer. In single player, you just press the main menu, and once you're out in the menu, then it's been saved. And if you're running this game for a long period of time, I suggest you do that occasionally whenever you've done or achieved something of importance, and then you just go back in by clicking the continue button in the main menu, because that way you do save your game whenever you want it to be saved. So you have a little bit of extra control that way, making sure that you won't have to do things a second time. And we are almost maybe 200 meters away from the second garage. We are down to below half the tank, but that should be no problem. Struggling our way up through very deep mud. And yeah, you can fast forward if you really have a problem or struggle with dark, but if you do so, I don't know if you can do that in hardcore mode. I rarely do that even in casual mode nowadays either, but in casual mode, if you do that, fast forward the time, this one, you can drag it and fast forward. You're gonna sacrifice a certain amount of fuel, and well, maybe in casual mode that's okay because you can always reset to the garage if anything happens. But in this mode, if you're sacrificing fuel, that's gonna really limit your options. Alright, we are fully repaired. I don't think we had any damage. And we are fully fueled. And just gonna plow my way through here. And basically the serpentine road ahead of us shouldn't be too much of an issue now. We don't have a trailer to think about. Still having a bad turning radius, but the trailer will be pushing our wheels upwards. And should be fairly easy. We're still gonna have to winch our way around the corners, I think, but that's not too much of an issue. Having that said though, we do have some messed up road section here because we have digged up some really nasty trucks, I suspect, and that will have us tilt a little bit more than we did in the previous run. So we're gonna have to take a look at that, see how this goes. First corner is coming up. First out of 3. This one does have a big rock on the inside there, so and yeah, this is pretty, as you can see, the old tracks really deep. I'm gonna try not to head down there unless I have to or something else happens. The gearbox is messing up a little bit with me. So something like this, and I'm most likely gonna have the winch pull me down there, but it should be okay because I missed the winch point. There we go. And just like in the old Batman series, I just slingshot over. I make sure the tension is right, the turning radius, and I keep on going, and then I release it, and then we should be okay. So that's how you make it faster, easier turn with the winch. And then of course you have to line up properly and make sure you have the right tension of the winch, because otherwise it's gonna turn much later or too early, or possibly lift up your front once you approach too close to the attachment point. Same here, making it a little smoother. Yeah, I had it. There we go. make sure I turn. As you see, I do have the right radius, so I just need to turn. And if I end up like this, I just pull in the winch a little bit. Maybe I should use all-wheel drive here. There we go. And then once I'm around the corner or the bend, I am releasing the winch and keep moving. That's fairly easy. Although we're gonna see, I mean, at some point maybe they're gonna put in a patch where they add a winch that could snap due to wearing and other stuff. We're gonna see if they do. Well, maybe you can pull that one off or that move off once, but the second time it's gonna be worn out and snap off. And that could actually be pretty interesting, because then you have to think twice before you actually do something. Because I'm really not sure if you would do this in real life, because I mean, let's just think about it. The truck, I don't know how much it weighs, but it's not easy, and it's not a very light truck. On top of that, you have a however big load you have on the back of the truck. So you add all of that up and basically trying to drag the truck around the corner. It's gonna be stressful for the winch. That's not in the future. It could be interesting. Maybe you will be able to winch your way around 2 corners, and then the winch would snap until you revisit your garage and have it repaired. I think that would be an interesting feature though. It would force you to think twice before you actually do that, because nowadays I think it's very easy to get around with this truck. You just gotta plan your route, know your way around, make sure you have trees nearby wherever you want to go, and should you want to go off-road. But other than that, this truck is the ultimate truck in here. I just love it. It's great. So we are approaching the final destination, our objective, passing our fuel truck on the way. And I'm gonna have to thank you for watching, and don't forget to give it a like and subscribe on my channel to support me. And again, I am gonna do an unboxing video 2 days from this recording. That will be on Wednesday this week. A unboxing of the Oculus Rift DK2. I'm gonna put in a link in the description for that. Maybe not in this video though, but yeah, you're gonna see it. I'm also posting what's up, what's new on my YouTube channel, and what's coming up on my Facebook channel. The link is up at the top right on my actual channel, so take a look there, and I'll be seeing you on the next one.
Thank you.